or Thursday night. Yeah, so. Woo! I think we're live. Hopefully, if I've done everything correctly, we're live. So I'm waiting for my phone to change over so I can confirm that I did click the live button. All right, let's see. Come on. Work with me here, man. Okay. It should be loading up now.
We're live. I'm looking at our.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. What's going on, guys? It's Brandon from Audio Addiction. I have a very special guest. He can introduce himself and all that stuff.
Hey, Jared from across oceans, but more importantly, Brandon's friend.
Yes, Jared and I would argue we're pretty close. I'd say we're pretty close to best friends. What would you say, Jared?
Well, I mean, I think we exchange memes like once a week, so it's got to be pretty serious.
Yeah, I would say so. We're taking it to the next level here, guys. Well, thank you for everyone that has taken the time to bear with our struggle here. Well, more specifically, my struggle. So I just got out of an interview, and it was from a band from Australia. So salutes to North Road. Those guys are awesome. Salutes. But anyway, Jared is here because he wanted to come do a reaction live video with yours truly, which, you know, I feel honored and blessed that he would want to even come on here and do this with me. So he had suggested to do the Currents album. He has been waiting with bated breath to check this album out. So I feel like, you know, as you know, as a live reactor myself, you know, I feel like Jared is, you know, the perfect opposite to me. You know, I feel like he's like one of the people, much like you, that, you know, wanted to listen to this album second one. So if you have joined us, much love. Thank you for watching. But we are going to be listening to Currents, The Death We Seek. How excited are you, Jared? I feel like you've been messaging me like at least once every day this week about it.
Nonstop. I mean, look, the first single came out like 7 months ago. This is a lot of anticipation leading up to this, and I could not be happier.
Do you feel like this will meet your album? Do you think this will make your albums of the year list?
I think it'll meet my albums of the year list. I mean, I'm really wish that Sleep Token wasn't like, hey, next week or 2 weeks from now, like we're coming out with our album, because it's gonna be tough to top that. But this for sure will be on my albums of the year.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. You know, I have listened to all of the songs. So Alone, I actually have a reaction video for that I did, but I never posted it. So that's on me. That's my bad.
Is it
that's
because
my
you were feeling so alone?
You crushed it, Jared. I'm always so alone. Salutes to being single. But
Meatball there.
Yeah, Meatball. Yeah, that's true. Salutes to Meatball. Meatball's in the chats, guys. But I'm very excited. Like I said, Jared has been low key bullying me to do this album, so now we're here. So, you know, normally Jared's in the chat. So now he's here in person. You know, I feel like he has surmised the ranks and now is doing this live with me. So if you'd love to see more Jared on the channel, let me know. Like, I feel like I love having guests on. I normally never really do this. It's more just like solo. So I love the fact that I get to react with the homies, you know, so that's amazing. So salute to Jared. Let me know if Jared's doing good, because that's a really good indicator. So, but we are going to get into the first track, Jared. We have both listened to this, so I feel like
ad nauseum. I love this track.
Ad nauseum. Oh God! All right, well, guys, this is The Death We Seek. Let's get into this one. I can't believe this is the first song.
It's the opener.
I know. I just can't believe it, though. You know, I had to download those high-quality files, Jerry, you know?
The Slack?
singing has gotten so much better.
So much better. I listened to the first 2 albums
This part is so sick. I haven't listened to it since I heard it the first time.
That makes one of us.
You did go back and listen to everything, to be fair, I feel like. Oh my god. That first song, man.
Amazing.
All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is the title track, The Death We Seek. You know, you can go check the links in the description. Pick it up if you feel so inclined to. There's CDs, vinyls, merch, all that stuff. Go support the Currents, boys. I had the privilege of interviewing Brian a little bit ago, you know, but I feel like he's going to come back on at some time. You know, Brian, you're always welcome back on again. But love the Currents, boys. But this song I personally have not listened to since it released. Most times whenever I do these album reaction videos, I don't listen to any of the songs after I do the original reaction video because I like being delightfully surprised at listening to it again, where Jared was just like, let me just listen, just Currents, yes, let's listen to the whole thing. And so I feel like you did a deep dive on all of it. So that's why I said Jared's the perfect counterpoint to me, because he has listened to all of it and I have listened to very few of it. So, you know, he might be able to offer a little bit more insight on this than I would. So he's going to start taking over these live videos now at this point. I think he's done enough homework now, you know, for Currents, that I feel like, you know, I might have to have him back on for Sleep Token, you know, who knows.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. Look, for this particular album, like we talked about before, this is the first single that they released for the album before they actually even announced the album.
Yes.
Last August, and
Ooh.
You know, in the scope of a year, I think I find myself like getting excited about the current state of a lot of the genres that I grew up on, like less and less. But for when this came out, like I was immediately drawn to it, and I think that their gradual progression, and obviously we have, you know, 9 tracks to go, but their gradual progression from The Place I Feel Safest, right, and then the Way It Ends, and then now The Death We Seek. I think that Brian, obviously we talked about his cleans have gotten better, but for me, I think just the way that Brian there's it's layers to it, right? So you
Oh
have
yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
ethereal, like you have the ethereal dissonant chords that play throughout the entire track. Then you have like like the strings, and then you have Chris Wiseman's insane guitar work throughout the whole
Yes.
thing, and then you have Brian, and his like to me his screams and the way it's just a perfect blend of like painful longing and painful chaos,
Yes.
like, and it's
Yes.
like I just feel the pain. Like when I the end of this song, I've heard this single many times. The
Yeah.
end of this song, like as it's almost like driven me to tears a few times, just because you can hear that pain, and the lyric choice, everything about this track. This was my number two single of 2022 behind "Without Me" by Dayseeker. So this,
That's
yeah,
fair.
I
Yeah.
just yeah, love this track.
I would say I would 100% agree with what you're saying, and I think that to me, like, it's always cool to hear like the progression because the way it ends, like I listen to, obviously I have done a couple different reviews of Current's material, and I think that getting the opportunity to see Currents before the pandemic, and obviously I'd love to see them going further. I imagine I'll be able to see them hopefully this year again, possibly. But I feel like they collectively as a band have gotten so much better in their like live performance, and I feel like that has carried over into the music making process because they have such a way of, like, as Jared mentioned, like introducing like this sort of like pain and anguish that you hear in the writing, but just like you can just, like you said, you can hear it in the way that he screams, like some of the ways that like the guitars blend in with the screaming and just add this like layer of like, I'm sure you saw both of us like giving the typical like reactor's face of being like, oh god, like this part just hits. And I think that they have just done such an incredible job with not only this song being the first song out the gate in terms of like, a single, but I also say as well, I think it does a great job to just introduce you to the record, which very rarely do I feel like both of those intertwine with singles sometimes, where you're like, oh man, like this is really setting you up for an album. And I think Jared also made a good point in our text chain where he was like, there's no filler songs. They're just like, there's no interludes, there's no outros, there's nothing. Like it just unadulterated 10 tracks, and so I think
Pure
that
filth.
pure filth, and I think that helps in the sheer aspect of like listening to the songs and like really getting yourself immersed. And I don't feel like that's to discount any other bands that have interludes or have any of that sort of stuff, because those I like that equally as much as I like having just like banger after banger after banger. But I feel like with this album, if they had interludes, it might not have the same sort of resonance as I feel like just 10 straight brutal tracks just mushed together. I think this is going to be quite the journey, and I think this is a great starting point. And I feel like if for people who maybe have not checked out Currents, I think this is the perfect song to start off with the album. And I think this is a pretty, I would say it's a pretty good introduction to Currents as a whole. Great clean singing, great screaming, memorable breakdowns, and I think like intricate like instrumental work, everything from guitars,
Insane
bass,
leads. Yeah.
everything, all of it in between. I think it just kind of like is the all-encompassing track, and I think they did a great job selecting this as a single. I think and I think when you listen to it, you're like, okay, this is a great track, but I think we often kind of discount that they're singles just because you listen to them a lot and you're like, oh yeah, singles, these are great. But I really do feel like this is a great starting point to the album. If again, for whatever reason, have been living under a rock and have not checked out Currents, I'd argue this is the song to listen to. Listen, Jared said it was one of his favorite songs that came out in 2022, and it came out in when, Jared? In August?
August, yeah.
So I think if this man put 4 months worth of music listening, and for it to be track 2, and he had 4 months to just grind out this song, I feel like that speaks for itself, if you ask me.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But we are going to move it on to the next track. I want to preface that Jared and I have not listened to the album at all. Jared has listened to the singles. I have listened to most of the singles, but we have not listened to some of these newer songs. So I think Living in Tragedy, I think, is a new one. We have not, neither of us have listened to this, correct?
No, it's a borrowed track name from As I Lay Dying from back in the day, but I'm stoked to hear it.
I hope it's not, I was gonna make
it's
a terrible.
Cover. No.
It's a cover song. They're like all of these rest of these songs are just cover songs. They just like, they're like I just talked to Brian. He's just like, yeah, actually, this after The Death We Seek, every other song was just cover songs.
Just a cover. Yeah, we got a B-52's cover on there. We're feeling it.
B-52. Oh my God, no. All right, well, we are going to get into Living in Tragedy. Let's give this bad boy a spin. Oh, this is sounding chunky, Jared. Like a peanut butter.
Oh! Very Mick Gordon.
Oh my God! That stutter!
Oh, wow.
Oh, this modulation is such... Oh. You weren't kidding about the filth, Jared. Oh, those high screams? What? Oh, those lows? What? Oh, all right, Brian. Goated. This is wild. All right, I'm liking this melody. It just bleeds so perfectly into the verses, man.
A little synth, bouncy synth.
That was nuts.
That like gradual progression of the high? What? Ryan, settle down.
I feel like there's a breakdown coming. Oh!
Destruction of the gods!
Oh, that was nuts. Oh, my head.
When the darkness comes.
I don't want to call it, but this might be the best one.
Yeah, better than this.
He would have went up like another octave. Oh, all right. Oh my God, that was wild.
Wow.
I can't get into the next one. We can't do it yet. We're almost there, guys. Oh my God.
Wow.
Unfamiliar. Or not
I'm
unfamiliar.
sitting up.
Living in Tragedy. Sorry. Unfamiliar is the next one. Oh. All right. I think we need to take a moment to talk about this. I also want to give a shout out to all the people in the chat. Salutes. Kane Vision said, "Hey, just saying, second song freaking amazing. You are right. 100%. I think arguably, I want to count the chickens before they hatch, but I might say this. I would argue this might be the best song on the album. I mean, we still got a little ways to go, certainly, but I mean, this is very, this was strong out the gate, strong contender, I would argue, What's your thoughts, Jared? Do you think so?
I mean, it's gonna be hard.
It's going to be hard, yeah. I think.
Can you say Mick Gordon, anyone? Little doomy, intro, the super industrial introduction, and then just being able to go from those ridiculously disgusting lows into a chorus, everything's awesome.
Yes, and then he hits the high screaming, the pitch.
Dude, that ladder where he went after the first chorus, or he did that ladder of highs where he just got progressively higher, that led into some other awesome part. I was blown away. His from 2015 or 2017 to now, his ascension as a vocalist is insane.
Oh yeah. Dude is wild. He is this is I feel like he is if we talk about sports, I know Jared will get this because he's a sports guy, but I feel like it's when that one quarterback goes away for the summer break and then kind of figures out what he needs to do and comes back and just crushes it. Yeah, I feel like he's a quarterback that just went on hiatus, just worked on his game, and then came back and absolutely just eviscerated the league. That's what I feel.
You're next to Philly. That was Jalen Hurts this past year.
I'm not gonna step in that ring. I am not a sports fan like you are, and I know you have I know you have certain words about Philadelphia, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I will not share them here.
Yeah, that's a good smart idea. Salutes to Ernesto, my boy. Love you. How you doing, fam? T-Gram says this track is my favorite for sure. I mean, I think it's definitely a favorite. It's just, where will it be in the rankings? And I feel like it's got to be pretty close to number one. I mean, I'm gonna put it.
First two tracks. Those are the first two tracks?
I know. We're only in 2 tracks, man. This is wild. I might as well we're going to cap it here. This is it. We're done. We don't have to listen to the rest.
It was an EP.
We just know it's good. And then It Came Vision says, I haven't gotten past Unfamiliar yet. Well, perfect timing. We are going to go through the entire thing. So best be assured we're going through every single damn track here. T Gray says, the whole album is amazing, by the way. Well, if you have listened to the whole album, let us know what your favorites are so we know what to expect down the line here. Kane Vision said, stop my solo listening to the album when I saw y'all were having a listening party. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to experience. Listen, this is what it's all about here. I love to experience this live. Jared's usually in my chat, and we just thought, why not just have Jared on here? He wanted to do this, so I feel like it's a party, fam. So come join us if you're watching this. If you are awake, it is 1 a.m. here on the East Coast, so your boy is going to be super groggy tomorrow, but it's all right. Listen, it's all for the love of Current, so I'm taking one for the team, and I'm sure Jared is as well. So we're taking one for the team, guys. Just remember that, all right? And then also go follow Jared's band Across Oceans. I got you, Jared. See? I got you, fam. I got you. But anyway, getting back to the track, Living in Tragedy. I think this one, arguably, is one of Brian's best performances as the Currents vocalist. Obviously, I don't think there's been any other vocalist that has been in Currents, but I think he has gotten so much better. I think, again, with The Death We Seek, I was like, this is good. But this song, on another level. He vocally, clean wise, the only thing that I thought he was going to do was in that last chorus. I thought he was gonna go up like an octave. You know, I thought he was gonna hit us with the I thought he was gonna hit us with the melody, but he just kind of leveled out, which is great. You know, I think he's already doing a lot, so you know, I respect the vision, but I feel like he could have done it. If he did that, that would be number one. I feel 100%. Like clean vocals, I feel like is like a 9 out of 10. Screaming is 11 out of 10. You know, so it kind of equals out, but like. God,
you wanted him to show off in like every like he just.
I wanted him to just go off. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted him to just pop off. You know. So I feel like for me, like this one is gonna be a tough one to beat. I think musically very inventive, super heavy. I think it matches well with Brian's strengths as a vocalist, and even further so, like pushing it. But as well as that, I think they're breaking into different territories. I like, again, the comment of Mick Gordon, because it does definitely have that kind of cool like modulation and stuff in the beginning of the song. On point. I just gotta say, this one, not that I didn't have low expectations for it, but man, if I had any expectations, those things got bombed.
If you're gonna follow up any song to The Death We Seek, that's the one you follow it up with.
They couldn't have followed it up any better, I don't think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They literally were just like, okay, they're like on the drawing board and they're like, how are we going to follow this up? Okay, Living in Tragedy, let's do it. You know, they knew. So I appreciate that. Jared, do you have any extra comments to add about the song that we didn't cover?
No, I think I'm still in shock, I think. I'm going to have to quickly get myself together for track 3.
I also feel like this one, I feel like this one is just like a Muhammad Ali like left hook, you know what I mean? Like you're struggling to get back into the ring, you know? Like
this could have been track 10, and I would have been like, album of the year. This is the best track to end.
I feel like I can already tell that Guide Us Home is going to be a breaker. I feel like this one's gonna. Yeah. I feel like that one's gonna fuck me up. Anything. Yeah, we might cry. I've cried on here already, so there's no shortage of me crying here. So. I'm not afraid to admit that. You know, watch the videos, the Devil Wears Prada album, last track, Cancer. If you didn't cry to that shit, you're not emotional enough. Chef's Kiss. If you didn't check out Burden's last album, Terminal, that shit made me cry. Check out that last song. If that song doesn't make you cry like a little baby, I don't know. None of those other songs.
Reevaluate yourself.
Reevaluate yourself. You got it, Jared. Listen, we know. But... you know, we're not here to tell you to cry, but I mean, hey, listen, if you do it, you're in good company. But we are going to move it on to track 3, which is Unfamiliar, which is funny because we've been unfamiliar with all of these songs. So now
we have no idea what's happening.
We are going to be familiar with Unfamiliar. So let's get into track 3, guys. All right. We
It's like mall music.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Reflections of violent shadows follow me.
All right. He's giving me range, man. I'm telling you. He didn't want you to forget he's working on his clean vocals too. solo?
Solo?
I like this clean guitar passage. This is so tight.
Delay. It's such an ethereal vibe.
Oh, it's great.
It's not hard to get lost. It's not hard to get lost. On a path so unfamiliar. A path that's always been. Stable life at what cost? Now we're on a track. We've all forgotten mistakes. The way I've seen it, we're in control. But it's just not
This guitar riff is insane.
it's not hard to get lost.
Chris Wiseman, let's go. Oh yeah, all right. That's that currency love, baby.
Take a bow for the love forgotten.
All right. That was. Oh, we can't get into So Alone yet. We're not ready for that one. Guys, that was unfamiliar. We're cruising along here, you know. I thought this one was good. I like this one. I think it's hard to follow up Living in Tragedy, you know. I think Jared and I both had that realization that it's like that one's going to be such a hard one to follow up. Like there's no like that one's going to be difficult. So, I think they did a pretty good job of following it up, all things considered. You know, I don't know. What do you think, Jared?
Well, having already listened to So Alone, like the first 2 tracks on this album, very heavy, very in your face.
Yes.
Like, I feel like tracks 3 and 4, like although it's like early into the album, might be as close to as we get to like palate cleansers, so to speak. Like there's a lot of clean singing and unfamiliar, but there's also a lot there's like heaviness, but in a way that's kind of maintained. For like what you like from the first 2 tracks, right?
Yeah.
Like which were all kind of crazy, but like awesome. So track 3, man, I think I was intrigued by like it starts off a little slow. They have the lead with like just the bass guitar and the synth going. Brian's like, yeah, like you said, I can sing too. And so I thought that was a really like for a quote unquote palate cleanser this early into the album. I thought it was a solid ass track.
Oh no, 100%. I think for me, like the clean vocals, especially because he's hitting that like higher mid range in terms of his vocal like level. I think it sounds great. Like it's almost like I feel like he's on the precipice of almost like falsetto, you know, like almost head voice. So really like that. I think I feel like Brian really doesn't hit that range in terms of his vocal styling, so it's nice to hear that changeover. But I will say that chorus felt like so traditional, like metalcore, like that, like to a T felt like quintessential. Like I feel like that's like a Kill Switch Engage like esque like chorus, you know. It has that sort of vibe, and I know that they just went on tour with them, which is awesome. But I feel like that had that like that quintessential like metalcore sound to it. Like there's just something about it that just felt like nostalgic in that way. So I think I appreciate that a lot. Like I said, I think it's so hard to follow up Living in Tragedy because I think we were just so like shell shocked by how good that song was. But I do feel like this one, because it's so subtle and like you said, it has this sort of palate cleansing aspect to it, and only being the 3rd song on the album, I mean, we either are just gonna get hit with like a fuck ton of heavy songs after this, or we're gonna get hit with another palate cleanser later on. I think Vengeance, well obviously we know Vengeance is heavy, so maybe Gone Astray might be the next like palate cleansy-esque track. And then obviously the last one, I feel like that one's just gonna be. I feel like that one's gonna be a gut wrencher, 100%.
Not to be forgotten. In this track, I caught something towards the end where Brian is singing, but in a layer in the background is almost like a Fry scream sing, like a Sam Carter type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And I heard that, and I went, "Oh, okay." So like, I'm almost intrigued to see if he'll bring that like back in a forefront vocal later in the album. I thought that was really good. I can't say enough about how much Brian has evolved as a vocalist from just hearing
Agreed.
the last two albums to now. I mean, and we're only three tracks in. We've heard a couple of the other singles, but like, I can't say enough. Like just hearing, like having when you're that good to where you can have your Fry scream / sing as like a background vocal, you're like, that's like kind of a middle finger to the rest of the metalcore community that can't do that. Yours truly could not pull that off. So much love, Brian.
I feel like you're just pointing the mirror at you. You're just like, man, shit, if I was only that talented, right? Nah, you listen, Jared. You're talented. You're a talented vocalist. Don't give yourself a lot of.
No, I'm just saying. In the grand scheme of things, like that was a really. If that's like the slowest song on the album, which we don't know, like that was still a solid ass track. I loved it.
Oh, big facts. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one a lot. And especially because we know what So Alone sounds like. I think that jump too is wild. You get like a soft like melodic track, and then we're going into So Alone, which is like heavy. So I think it's good. A Kane Vision said this next song has what all guitarists love, which was Unfamiliar. So I think it's like that real like delayed, like reverb drenched like guitar work, and I think I love that. I'm a guitar player, so I feel like I enjoy that. I know Jared also plays guitar as well, but I love clean, like nice metalcore cleans with some like reverb, some delay. Oh, chef's kiss. I love that stuff. So definitely,
like
good
talking
one.
about the delayed kind of drenched like lead, like so the leads in that song almost reminded me a little bit of the Death We Seek, but in like a less like angry, like not angry, but like more controlled fashion, if you can say that.
Sure.
Their ability to do like the tremolo lead with the super long delay and have it kind of be like the back, like the breath and the backbone of the track is. I haven't heard it a whole lot yet, so I think that's what sets Currents just a little bit apart. I think in such a convoluted genre like metalcore / sometimes they border the line between metalcore and deathcore. You have to set like little things to set you apart, and I think that's one of the things it does.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think they do a great job of like, what I've always felt about Currents is like I feel like they pay homage to like older metalcore acts, like an As I Lay Dying, a Killswitch Engage, like those types of artists. But then I think they always like to modernize things and have like just dumb, stupid, heavy tracks that you're like, like you just look into the camera or you just look at your friends and you're like, what the fuck did I just listen to? This is crazy. That's what I feel like Currents hits both of those spectrums very well. Like they have the classic diehard people that like, I feel like this Unfamiliar is like an homage to people that have been in metalcore for a long time, have known the ropes, and just like pays homage to that. And like So Alone comparatively is like this stupid like deathcore, like what the fuck am I listening to, like dumb heavy track that you're just like, man, this is gonna give me like 8,000 gains at the gym tomorrow. So yeah. Very excited. I'm gonna have to test that theory out tomorrow probably. But let's get into So Alone, guys. Let us know if you have listened to the album already, because there's 8 of you in this chat, which is awesome. Thank you for watching. But let us know if you have listened to the whole album. Let us know what some of your favorites are. We always love to keep a little bit of a, keep a little mind's eye out for what's coming up down the pipeline. But let's get into So Alone, right, Jared?
Let's do it.
This is so heavy. Oh my god. Oh, Jared's out. What the hell happened to Jared? Oh no. You have to pause this. We lost Jared, guys. We lost Jared. I feel like I have to go back in his honor. I don't know how to do this video. Oh, no. No. Oh, God. Jared dropped. We're losing him, guys. We're losing him. I don't know what happened to him. We'll wait. We'll give him a second. Maybe he'll pop up. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. Okay, he's... Okay, well, never mind. Are you coming back or are you leaving? I don't know. Whatever. We'll press on. He has listened to So Alone. He knows what So Alone is. I have listened to this one, but it's been a little bit. Oh, never mind. He's back. I thought I lost you.
Control is fading out. More bed to taking up. We're stranded, waiting for a ride. With half-cut tongues, we struggle endlessly for naught. This life has come undone. A sign unfolds. We can't remember if we've been here before. We can't get close. They're feeling for a moment now, and I feel so alone. The way is born by the ones around. But we all have a cross to bear. What is the faith but a lack of trust? Our most stable crutch. When you gotta be the honest, putting dogs in the mouth of war. When you gotta be the honest, we recuse ourselves to damnation.
That layered scream. Yeah.
When the torch is overwhelmed, when eyes are wide, when every bridge is burning down. A sign unfolds. We can't remember.
I love his clean tone. I know we talked about this already, but God.
Here before, we can't get close. They're feeling for a moment now, and I feel so alone.
All right.
The silence hurts. It's not your heart bleeding on the ground. We can't get
I like that piano. I feel like it's very understated.
a sign unfolds. We can't remember if we've been here before. We can't get close. They're feeling for a moment now, and I feel so alone.
All right, guys. If you're just tuning in, that was track 4, So Alone. This one was a good one. I feel like I didn't give it enough love. I did do a reaction video to it. If you still want me to post it, let me know. But I did do when I first listened to it, I felt like it was a very good continuation of like the Death We Seek in that sort of way. But I also feel like now having kind of more of a fuller context on where the singles are placed in the album, man, this one is a great track. I think it's a good follow-up to Unfamiliar, which was a little bit more melodic, a little softer, and this one feels a little bit more like traditional Currents, you know? I think it's very much in that like Currents lane, hits that Currents lane and just does it well. I think that's the best way I can describe this song. What do you think, Jared? What's your thoughts?
So this was the fourth and last single released for the album, before the album came out. And when I first heard it, my first listen was my first after my first listen, my initial reaction was, oh, this is the weakest of the four, right? I thought I was a little jarred by like not jarred, but like the chorus didn't fit like the melody that he chose for the chorus for me on the first listen didn't fit the prototypical metalcore like note selection. And then after I heard it over and over again, I went, oh no, this is a solid fucking track. So for me, like now in the grand scheme of all the singles, it's really hard. But like for me, I love this track. I think that I think the things that make it beautiful, like Chris Weisman's leads.
Yeah.
You have this juxtaposition of like this pretty lead with Brian's like disgustingly low gutturals, and I think there's a reason for that. And then like this breakdown is almost like it's not really like a traditional Currents breakdown. It's got Brian's like very low gutturals.
Yes.
But it's almost like this. It's almost like this animal style drums, like this, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like I grew to love this track. It wasn't something that it wasn't a track that I fell in love with like right off the bat. Like
sure. Yeah.
But still, a super solid follow up to Unfamiliar, I think.
I think I came around to this one as well. I oftentimes think like the context of the singles kind of work out because like I think
they're important.
Yeah, right. 100%. And I think that sometimes like you listen to a single and you're like, I don't know. Like I don't know if this is a good song, because it's just a standalone song. But now listening to it, and obviously we could make a follow up to it after we listen to over and over, but I think for me, it's like it fits that perfect niche of like singable chorus, like sick breakdown that has more of a straight beat to it. It's just basically like hi-hat, like, bass and just snare. Like it is a straight beat through and through. And I think that's what kind of makes it different because like as you said, it's not like what you would expect from Currents to do in terms of a breakdown, but I think that's kind of what makes it good is that the fact that they just didn't do the traditional thing that you would expect them to do. They just kind of they didn't do the cookie cutter route. So I appreciate the fact that they tried to go out and do something different that kind of separates this song. But yeah, I think very similarly to maybe like Unfamiliar, I think this one again has that kind of nostalgia. It really rings true to that kind of again more metalcore, like classic nostalgic like metalcore sound to it. I think about some of the choruses, I think about some of the melodies, the way that like Brian kind of arranges those things, and I'm like, okay, that feels very like reminiscent to it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's like note for note, bar for bar the same thing, but like you can tell like the band collectively was heavily influenced by like As I Lay Dying, All That Remains, the Killswitch Engage, like any of those like classic nostalgia like metalcore bands, like they have that in droves for some reason, but then also are able to kind of like again try something different and make it unique. But I thought this was a rad track. Out of all the singles, I think I might agree with you and say it's probably like not my favorite. I think I would probably say, I don't know, Remember Me was really good too.
I think it's the fourth best single.
I would say I would agree. Which one do you feel like is below that one then? Because there was only 4 singles that were released, right?
So 4 singles. I think the Death We Seek is number 1. 2 and 3 is really hard for me in context because I think Remember Me is a very emotional track.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of tugs at your heartstrings. Vengeance is very vengeance. It's very in your face and
Visceral,
heavy.
yeah.
So for those two, it's kind of like on any given day, I'll pick one over the other. But like Death We Seek is number one. Vengeance and Remember Me is like interchangeable for me, just depending on how I feel during the day. On the day, and then So Alone is at the bottom.
And that I also want to preface that, and I probably could speak for Jared on this. So Alone is not a bad track. I just think in the context of the singles, like I would probably agree with you that Death We Seek is like the perfect amalgamation of like heavy, clean vocals, what you kind of expect for Currents, and they deliver it on that 100%. I would say Remember Me, I would probably put above Vengeance just because I think it's a little bit more dynamically interesting. So I would probably put that at second. Vengeance is great if you're just like into the like
angry.
Stupid, angry, oonga boonga riffs, then this is the one for you. And then So Alone, I think, is still a great track. I don't want it to feel like, anytime we put a single at the bottom, like everybody's immediately like, it's a bad song. It's a bad song. I want to preface, I don't think it is a bad song. I just think that contextually it fits way better in the album than it did as a single. That's what I think.
Yep, agreed.
So definitely, again, So Alone, great track. I think we are going to listen to over and over, and I think that will totally, fit within our statements of liking the song so far. But yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the album. I'm feeling pretty confident this is going pretty well, I'd argue. What do you think, Jared?
I'm stoked. Let's get into track 5.
All right, let's rock with it. Track 5, guys. This riff.
Left the change, find yourself to your voice and speak. Look like the life you chose to lead. Everything about this world is changed as we fell asleep. Wake up the ashes like rain. World you loved is out the air.
Oh, I love this riffy bends. Oh, so tight.
Very little pop punk chorus.
Yeah, very like pop punky, punk beat. Oh, opens up, alright.
I love that.
Clean transition, yeah. This is wild. This is close. Living in tragedy. It's close, man. I'll tell you what. Oh, we get a nice little drum roll. All right. This is great. I love the little rain, you know? This is nice. Woo. This is gonna be tough, Jared, this year. I'll tell you what. They are not making it easy this year for albums. I'll tell you what.
2023 is a dope.
I thought it was hard.
Year.
I thought 2022 was a hard year, for like picking albums. So this year is gonna be extra difficult.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 5, Over and Over. Ooh, man. I'll pass the question off to Jared. What are we thinking about this track? What are your thoughts on this, bud?
Well, this track has got me in my feels over and over. Yeah, man. Look, I think that we're only 5 tracks in, right? Like if this was an EP, it kind of feels like the EP would end on this track.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'd argue that
it's got the perfect blend, I think, of like a Living in Tragedy mixed with a Remember Me, like the way that it ends on that.
Yeah.
Like and I've said this before, but like they can carry a track on that super wide background, tremolo, ethereal, delayed lead, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
with the synth, and then this one with the rain at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I'm typically a guy who has to give a track multiple listens for it to really sink in, but this chorus is already kind of just spinning in my head and kind of replaying over and over again. So, yeah.
Jared's got the jokes, guys. That's what you come here for. Is Jared is the jokester, That's why we may have him on the Sleep Token episode, But I would have to agree. I think it has moments of Remember Me, but also now also listening to Living in Tragedy. I think that it has those moments as well. I think the thing that stuck out to me the most was that breakdown with just that insane Chris Wiseman guitar lead. Like, let me tell you that, like, again, that tappy sort of like, oh man, the way that this man can write guitar riffs, unreal. Like I think he is, again, a fantastic guitar player, but I think the way that they kind of crush this song so well, it'd be hard pressed to not put this in a favorites as well. I think it has those moments that just hit like a truck. It has those emotional hits, as Jared mentioned before, the kind of rain, just like the atmosphere of the track feels very, like Jared said so well. Just like if this was an EP, I think this would have been a great send-off song, But I think in the context of the album, I think it's a great ending point as well too, because it's halfway through the album, I think it's a good turning point to what I feel like may be a heavier end of the thing, heavier end of the album, because we do have Vengeance, we might start off like musically heavy, but then we're gonna maybe migrate to like emotionally heavy, and that's what I want to count my chickens before they hatch, but that's what it seems like the direction we're gonna be going in. So I have high hopes that the duration of the rest of this album is going to be nuts. But yeah, I think this is, I think this very similarly maybe to the Death We Seek as well, as I think is a really good song. If you have not listened to Currents and you're like, man, what song do you think that I would suggest, or also probably Jared as well, what song would you suggest listening to get you familiarized with Currents? I'd probably say the Death We Seek's a great choice. And I'd probably say Over and Over is also a really good choice as well. I think it shows off Brian's clean singing capabilities, his screaming, the band instrumentally. I think Chris is a fantastic guitar player. Chris Pugarian, their bass player. Some great bass riffs. I want to just talk. I know we always throw shade at bass players, but like, man, some of the low end on this track, I don't think would have been half as chunky, without some insane bass riffs. And I will say Chris goes off live too as well. If you have not seen Currents, man, they're a sight to see live. And I don't know their other guitar players' names, so I won't want to shade him either because I don't fucking know it. But he's also talented as well. So I think they just like they got an all-star team. I'll tell you what. So I think this is a great, again, medium point album song, and I also think at the same point it borrows a lot of inspiration from the tracks that preceded it. Like it has moments of Death We Seek, it has moments of Living in Tragedy, it has some unfamiliar moments. Same with So Alone. I think it really culminates well into this song, so I'm excited. I think the rest of this album is this latter half is gonna be pretty sick. So, did you find out who it was, Jared, or no?
Ryan Castaldi.
Oh, also, I did leave a link for Ryan. He was the one who has cancer. So I left a link in the description. If you can still, I don't know if you can still donate or if they closed that out, but if you can donate, please, that'd be really sick. Also, if you can pick the record up, that'd also be really sick. I got to pick up the vinyl still. So I feel like this is going through this album with you guys live. I feel like this needs to be added into my collection, so Jared got a new record too.
You can still donate. He has raised $68,000 of his $60,000 goal. So really, really just nothing but strong prayers and vibes for this guy if he's still battling his cancer diagnosis. But yes, I did get a new album courtesy of my friend Brandon.
Wow, he's gonna pull it out?
He sent me this amazing.
Oh yeah, baby, let's go. Vinyl. The Burden, baby. I love these guys. There's my boys.
The amazing Burden vinyl.
And it's signed,
I have not
baby.
yet pulled my vinyl player out, but like the lime green vinyl is, I could cry. So thank you, Brandon.
You got it. Well deserved. You won it. So the guys in the Burdens, pass off my well wishes to you. So they wanted to bless you with the vinyl, and I was the one who was providing. So it's a win-win.
I couldn't be happier.
I love that. You gotta put a smile on Jared's face. He's got a lot to live for, but if I can send my homies a vinyl, that makes me a happy camper. So, but what also makes me happy? More of this Currents record. So we're gonna give a listen to Beyond This Road. So what are we feeling?
Let's go.
What are we feeling, Jared? Do you think this is gonna be a heavy one?
I think we've had two semi. The way this record's gone so far, two really heavy tracks, two like semi like palate cleanser, borderline heavy tracks. I think track 6 is gonna be heavy.
Oh,
but either way, I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, we know Vengeance is heavy, so I feel like this. I'm gonna go the latter. I think it's a palate cleanser, so I'm gonna.
I've listened. I'm gonna listen to track 5 over and over again. But beyond the road of Over and Over, I'm excited to listen to track 6.
Oh my God, you're really just crushing it with the puns tonight. So we're gonna move it on to Beyond This Road.
Full dad jokes later.
Oh, you're right. Interesting.
We're all
Oh, those lows. Unreal. I like this melody in the chorus. Ooh, that lows, those lows.
Yeah, you can hear the back, the underline.
The layer, yeah, the layering's tight. I like this.
Something wicked has just done.
Taste the blood of your swords.
Damn.
Yeah, taste the blood and get sent to the other side. Get to run where your reality's gone. Yeah, taste the blood and get sent to the other side. Get to run where your reality's gone.
That was tight.
That was sick.
A mind deceived, a lie we lived. We're offered a love for the loveless. Beyond this road, there's another world we can carve out for ourselves. We can't be sold, breaking down the walls that divide us from retreat.
That conversion into the clean still lows. Insane.
Oh.
That was
Yes,
wild.
please.
That was wild. Guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 6, Beyond This Road. This one, I think personally it was really solid. I like the fact that the low screaming goes a little understated, but if you're really listening to it, ooh, man, it adds just this like depth. I like the fact that they had the clean vocals, and then at the bottom they had some like really nasty like low screaming that I feel like matches well with Brian's clean singing. Like I like that. That was a pretty cool combination.
So for this particular track, and the chorus specifically, I just discovered that guitarist by the name of Ryan LaTrue was a producer on this album. If you don't know who Ryan LaTrue is, chat and viewers, he was the ex-guitarist and clean singer of a band called For Today.
Oh.
He is also in a band called Nothing Left. It had a very, like, the chorus progression had a very Ryan LaTrue kind of feel and touch on it. And I loved For Today. Unfortunately, they broke up. But I loved For Today. And this track was, the chorus specifically, reminded me heavily of that band. And I know why. Ryan LaTrue. Shout out to you, my friend, producer on this album.
Salutes, Ryan LaTrue. Big fan. Yeah, no, I think that I love that like melody in the chorus. That was just so tight. Like the way that Brian just kind of like eloquently like kind of flows through that chorus was just really tight. I also really enjoyed that breakdown. That breakdown was nasty as fuck. Like
Ooh,
that was
yeah.
like that one was like a true Currents breakdown, you know, like that's the type of breakdown you expect. That's like the pit opens up and, you know, you better, if you're not a pitter, then you better watch out.
What are you doing? If you're not a pitter, what are you doing? Yeah.
I don't know. I usually just do this. I just cross my arms and, you know, have my earplugs in my ear.
You just mean mug in the back of the
No,
back of the
it's
crowd?
it's either that or it's me holding my camera up trying to get videos for you guys because I love you. So
clutching your pearls
It's not me clutching my pearls. It's me holding my camera that, then as being a 30-year-old, then my back hurts from holding my camera up. It's almost like going to a day at the gym, except for I didn't, so 10 out of 10 would not recommend, but 10 out of 10, I do it for the fans. So, you guys are my love. I love you guys. So, I'll do it for you. I'll suffer as being a 30-year-old at a concert for you guys because you're sick, but I enjoy this one. I think there was a lot of interesting things. I noticed with some of these songs that I know I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of them. Like, I think a little bit more intently.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think there was some stuff that maybe we both missed, but I overall, like, this one was a fun one, but I think there's a little bit of some other stuff that maybe went left unsaid, but yeah, Brian's sounds great. I think that chorus is really kind of what sold me on this track, because I was like, I knew it was going to be a heavy track, and I'll give you kudos for knowing that it was going to be a heavier track. I thought for sure they were going to hit us with more of a melodic track, to be fair, but I mean, hey, listen, I feel like these next couple songs probably will be pretty heavy, I think. I'd argue. We already know agree. Vengeance is heavy, so we're gonna see if Gone Astray is gonna be heavy.
Yeah, we've heard the last 50% of the album at this point with Vengeance and Remember Me for sure.
Yeah, so we know we know what's coming, But I still think I'm still gonna hold on to the truth that Guide Us Home is gonna be like just an emotional, just stab in the back. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I'm calling it right now. Mid live video, but the next song we're going to move into, Jared, Vengeance. Let's give it a listen.
Vengeance.
Voices revolution, dark marks behind our masks, senseless execution, no mistakes and no forgiveness.
I forgot how filthy this track is.
This is so filthy.
Oh, Jared's got it.
Is it everyone else?
Oh man, it's so good. Perfect gym song. Tell you what.
That's at a PR.
I hope everybody's two-stepping in their house right now.
I just broke my ankle on the floor.
double scream. Oh, insane. Oh. Those dissonant chords on top of that too. Oh, so wild.
The siren.
The siren. Yeah, that's true. Oh my god.
Yo, my god. I love that track.
That was heavy. Guys, listen. You just tuning in, which you missed a little bit. Just want to say, you can go and rewind it, but I would suggest, sticking around, that you can go back in time. But we listened to Vengeance track 7 off of the Current's newest album, The Death We Seek. If you'd like to go pick it up, links in the description. Please go support these guys. They're awesome. Big salutes to Brian. Big salutes to Sharp Tone. They sent this to me. I love them. They're awesome. I love working with them. So much salutes to Sharp Tone. Amy said, "Oh, I love Vengeance." Right with you. We love
that
Vengeance.
Makes 3 of us, Amy.
Yeah. Three's a party. You know what they say. But I love this song. I forgot how much I enjoyed this one, and I also forgot how many PRs I probably hit with this song. So now I'm gonna have to throw it back in the rotation again because your boy trying to hit them PRs. So that I feel like this is just this could just be surmised in the fact that this is just dummy thick. I think that's the best way I could just lay it down for you. It has everything stupidly heavy that Currents does. I think this is arguably probably the heaviest song that we've listened to on this album. It is just nonstop. It starts and it doesn't stop until the end of the song. So I would say this one's a great one. I like this one a lot. Though there is a little bit left to be desired, especially considering, like I said, we have listened to some of the other songs. But, if you're looking for just a dumb, stupid, heavy track, look no further. What would you say, Jared? What's your thoughts? You look like you're contemplating.
I couldn't agree more. No. So this was the second single.
It was?
The album,
yes.
Released back in November. And this is definitely a throat punch from beginning to end, right?
Yes.
And the way that I described Brian's sort of vocals, a very, very in your face, very. I guess the word. I don't remember exactly what word I used in the beginning, but very painful. Very longing, right? So the lyrics, after I guess what you would call the chorus in this song, is it ever enough? No, it's never enough. That kind of catch and response to each other, they're just kind of bashing each other's heads in. To me, makes this song very unique and special. For the simple fact that this is a song that's in your face from beginning to end, but it's got everything in it to me that's perfect about the genre. It's got that sort of siren dissonant thing throughout.
Yes.
Right? In the beginning, in the breakdowns, at the end. That is for a very specific reason. I think it's to sort of, we talked about the urgency that Brian makes with his vocals, how urgent everything sounds throughout. Siren's very urgent, right? So when you hear that sort of siren, sort of dissonant sound, to me, it's the heaviest track on the album thus far. We still have 3 tracks to go, but for me, this track was the heaviest track of 2022 that I listened to, and but also very palatable for a band like this. So I love this track.
I would agree with your sentiments. I'd also say this kind of gave us an idea of how diverse Brian's screaming is, and I think other songs probably paint a better picture of the way that he can kind of scream in the different ways that he goes about it, the high fry screams, the high the great mids, and then the really the lows, and then the low lows, so I think this does a pretty good job of encapsulating those kinds of different screaming, but I don't really feel like it kind of eats away at some of the other songs that have some really interesting lows going on with it. But also it's okay, we listen to Vengeance, how are some of those things characterized or changed over into some of the other songs on the album, and I think it paints that kind of picture in terms of that. I know we've been saying a lot how much Brian has grown as a vocalist, but I genuinely think like he has done such a great job of honing in on not only his screaming skills but also his clean skills. Like I think he really has done the work, and he has, I think this is the fruits of his labor. I think he really honestly has done such a fantastic job, honing in on his clean vocals, but also just like showing us that you were like, you thought last album I really brought the heat. This album, I got you. So then he hits you with another song like this one or some of the other songs off this album that you just sit there and you're just like, what the fuck, man? You really went at it, and I appreciate that. So, Brian, if you watch this, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, so as a vocalist myself, like I can talk about how like as a screamer and as a singer, like it's difficult enough between albums. Like Across Oceans has only released 2 albums. It's difficult enough between one album to the next to hone in really well on one skill, screaming and singing. But I'll admit myself, I'm a much better singer than I am screamer. But Brian was like, "Yo, you heard The Place I Feel Safest in 2017? Big facts, gonna improve massively for 2020. Oh, you heard that last album? Okay, well watch this." Like his screams, dude, the lyrics, the cadence of his timing, the screaming, the singing, like the maturity of how everything sounds on this record and how polished it is. I mean, it is the ultimate chef's kiss 5 months into 2023 that I can think of. And we still have 3 tracks to go.
I know, we're really in for a treat. I think Currents was like, hey, listen, our buddies Invent Anime, we're going out on tour with them. We can't just have them stand us up with like Heavener, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
they're bringing the heat. So I think
Heavener is a strong fucking record.
Heavener is a strong fucking record, and I think this is like, this is knocking on the doorsteps. This is like, hey, listen, we're not taking no prisoners, So I think it's close. Like I said earlier in this live review, this is going to be a very hard year for albums. I every year I say that, but I do genuinely think this year is going to be a difficult one. We still have we definitely still have a couple more bands. I did see that Silent Planet's in the studio right now, so
November release.
We could have we could definitely have an album by November, certainly. Loathe is poised to be doing an album soon, so there's some rumblings, so it's gonna be an interesting year. So all I'm saying is, if you're into heavy music, you are eating well. I just want to say we've been blessed.
2023, we're out here.
We are out here. We eating. We are not going starving this year, so I love that. But we went on a tangent. We're here for that. You are here for the album, so we are going to move it on to track 8, which is Gone Astray. This one's a new one. We have not listened to this one, so
I have not heard it. Yep.
We only have 2 more new songs. This is really sad, Jared, but we only have 2 more new songs. That's all right, though.
Ready.
We have 3 songs as a whole, so I'll take it. But we're gonna get into Gone Astray, guys. Let's give it a listen.
Ooh. The synth. Okay.
You said it, the Sam Carter.
A little always typed in.
The way this drops in. That guitar riff. This is pretty good.
It's dynamic as fuck.
It is.
Tonight we will die. We're together.
This is nice. This is nuts.
I love this.
That piano is sick. This one was wild. Holy shit.
That didn't feel like 3.5 minutes. Wow.
That did not, no. All right, guys. If you're just tuning in, that was track 8, Gone Astray, off of Current's new album, The Death We Seek. I feel like Jared has a lot of thoughts, so we're gonna pass it off to Jared. What are you feeling, Jared?
So, this track. So I've talked so much about like Brian's ability to create urgency with his vocals and his lyrics. Like, this is such a contrast to me, and not only a contrast, but such a maturity from his first album. I went back and listened to the first Current's album with Brian on it, I think, in 2017. And it was so fast, very like rap inspired. It had a lot of super fast parts, and by that I mean like the lyrics were just shooting at you one after the other. There wasn't a whole lot of space for those songs to breathe. Very good in its own right, but this specific album, this specific track, "This will be the night I take control. This will be the sign of my resolve," he says after that. I think that part of that first chorus, or after that first chorus, like it's and like what Brandon likes to say, an amalgamation of all of the good parts of what metalcore is, but sort of adding on to it.
Oh yeah.
I loved the fact that like I didn't necessarily know, but like the Sam Carter / Ollie Sykes vocals crept their way into the forefront. They weren't just in the background. I think like they were on the Unfamiliar track, I think is where that was.
Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved everything about this track, and that sort of very like synthy lead that kind of that kind of permeates and just haunts you throughout the entirety of the track. I just, in this, we're 8 tracks in, we've heard, one of the last 2 songs. I just cannot think of another band in this specific genre that's doing the ethereal, haunting, like just the vibes in the background. That's the only word I can think of. Like the ethereal, haunting vibes in the background better than Currents and Brian right now.
I would say, yeah, I would agree with that. And I also feel like the only other band that I feel like is competing in that space might be the other band that they're going out on tour with, which is Invent Anime. I feel like they have that sort of, which would make sense. I mean, I feel like, obviously they would tour together because they have, similar fan bases, but I do feel like they play off of each other in that way, and I know that the contextually, like, obviously Heavener and also The Death We Seek were probably recorded at 2 different time frames, but I think that this song does a great job of representing Currents. I think it has those moments where, as Jared said, so nicely, was the fact that I think that just like the whole thing, like, there's just something about it where the anticipation of, like, the lyricism fits in super well here, and Brian's able to kind of take control of the song in that way. But also in the same chorus, like, you have some of these open spaces, especially more so, like, in a breakdown or a bridge portion of the song, where it just opens up and you can really
you let it breathe.
You can really let it breathe. Exactly, and you can have those moments where it just, like, it hits like a 17-ton truck, like, there's just something about it that I think Currents has garnered over the years, where they've just been able to master kind of that spatial awareness within a song. Like, there's something about it where when a breakdown hits, man, that thing hits, and I think that they've done a very good job of doing that over the years. But I would say more specifically with this album and the one that preceded it, The Way It Ends, I feel like they did a very masterful job of kind of, again, keeping that space open. I did like that, again, that Sam Carter Fry scream thing. I love I love the fact that, again, it has that aggressive just punch to it. It just, it just sends the song in a great direction. And I think that this one's I think this one's number 2 for me. I still think Living in Tragedy right now is, I think they're both great tracks. I think on any given day I could swap between the two, but I think these two right now are my current favorites. We'll obviously talk about our favorites, throughout when this album's over with, which I know is coming to an end. But yeah, I think this one is a masterful job from Brian, but I also don't want to discredit Currents as a band in general, because I think that the instrumentation of this song is equally as impressive. Like Jared said, the haunting kind of like ethereal melodies going on in the track, the attention to maybe like a little bit of synth, a little bit of piano mixed in there. Just a great mix of everything that, if you've been a fan of Currents for a while, I think they pay homage to some of their older material within this song, but also kind of taking it into a new territory and trying something different. So I like this. This one I think is my second favorite. Do you think it's better than Living in Tragedy, Jared? Because you kind of questioned it a little bit.
I think not necessarily. I think that I know Remember Me because it was a single. I want to hear Guide Us Home in context with the rest of the album.
Sure.
So to kind of I'm going to wait to judge my songs in order until I hear the last track.
Fair enough. I think I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I think Gone Astray was, I think, like, you get that itch, it's going to be a good track. I think that both Living in Tragedy and Gone Astray gave me that kind of, like, initial instinct. So, I don't know.
Well, it only took 5 tracks for my prognostication to be right with the Sam Carter.
Yeah, you might. Yeah. You've been crushing it. It's almost.
I have a place on the Audio Addiction channel.
You do.
Saying.
You always do, Jared. Come on. You're always welcome back. Benny
Meatball agrees. He's lying. He's asleep.
He is out. Like, if I showed him this music, he would bust through my door. Somebody said, "Hey guys, searching for someone who's reacting. Let's go." So beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us.
We are here. We are
here. There's 14 people in this live video. I am stoked. But we are going to get into Remember Me.
No, I'm just
It's all you, Jared. Yeah, it's people got tired of just seeing me, so now they have someone else to direct their fun and anger to. So, We're gonna move it on to the next.
No anger.
Yes. Well, it's as ABR says, it's angry music for happy people. So we are going to move it on to track number 9. So Remember Me. Let's give this bad boy a spin. Oh, where you going? Okay. I was like, come on, let's go.
Is this song playing?
It is playing.
You can't see your screen or
Oh, can you not? Oh, God. All right, let's go back.
Oh, channel has it. I don't. Sorry.
I'll go put it back. Do you have it now? Oh, wait, let me play it. I should play it. Yeah?
There we go.
Cool.
I got it now.
Technical difficulties, guys. It wouldn't be anything less, on the channel.
After I talk shit about me being the man.
Ah, it's alright, it's alright. Oh, somebody said can't wait for you guys to hear Guide Us Home.
Hell yeah. Remember Me is one of the best singles any band has ever put out. I'll do that.
I can sense it. I'll convince myself that the world I love is gone. The blood is on the walls. The damage has been done. We carry the weight of selfless scars. We silently crave upon a pedestal. We place our pain. One quadrant for the council. To our ball to break. Cut the veil, not but the story still burns its face. So when you take a look deep inside yourself, it swells and it stings. Like a chemical reaction burning your brain. It lies the weight of our regrets. Sharpen the knives that cut through with deepest strains of hate. Show me the love you've always wanted. All the love is gone. Driven apart by what we all have seen.
I love how Brian pushes in this chorus. So tight. This bass riff is so tight.
Yeah, you can put it there. This is the breakdown I didn't expect from them. That makes it so hard.
Another never will be. We have exercised the will of parasites. We're not robots of innocence. Knock the ground.
Love the lead.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know if we're ready for the last track, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
I'm trying to bud this up with like the last song so well. Well, guys, track 11 or track 9. I was gonna say track 11. There's not 11 tracks. I'm sorry. Remember Me, off of the Death We Seek by Currents. It's out now. Check the links in the description if you'd like to go pick it up. Also, there is donating to, I believe it's Ryan. His cancer fund is still active, so go do that if you haven't already. But realistically, go pick up the record. That's probably going to help them out a lot as well, too. And they're doing a headliner tour, which I'm pretty sure we already alluded to already. But, come out, go see that. Philadelphia sold out already, so I'm, like, kind of pissed off. But, hey, Invent Anime.
I'll be there for San Antonio, May 30th. I'll be there.
Oh, all right. Well, go say hi to Jared if you go to San Antonio. If you come to Philly, I'm low key hoping Invent Anime, if you want to do something, that'd be kind of sick, so, or like Moz. Listen, I'll do it all. All of your bands.
Sick as fuck too. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta listen to that. New Bring Me the Horizon too. There's just so much shit dropped today, man. I'll tell you what. It's a
great year for the metal, for the genre. Yeah.
Dude, we cooking right now. It's great. I'm trying to see what I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Mark said, "Can't wait till you guys hear Guide Us Home." Yeah, we are pumped. This is the last new song and the last song on the album, so this shit better be a gut wrencher. Tom Aesthetic says, "Remember Me is one of the best singles." Or Remember Me is one of the best singles any band has put out ever, in my opinion. Ooh, that's a strong take. I'd argue it was probably one of the best singles to come out this year, 100% of all time. That's a debatable thing, but I appreciate your opinion. It's a take, yeah, 100%. We're talking about all time, I don't know. That's kind of tough. I don't know if I would. I think it's a great song. Would I say it's one of the best singles of all time? That, I don't know. That would be interesting.
Brandon, carry the show for the next 60 seconds while I take a break.
Carry the show for the... All right, well, he'll be back. All right, let's see. Exactly. Living in Tragedy, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was just such a wild track. I don't like... Oh, man, I could, if I could go back and relive that song, I would so do that. Mark also said, favorite track of Currents overall. Did you mean Remember Me, Mark? I'm pretty sure that's the one you're referring to, if I had to guess. Mine Will Always Be Better Days. Somehow I missed that crazy riffs on this record. Oh, he meant these crazy riffs. Yeah, I would say, what, honestly, Jared's probably going to be the better one to ask that one for, because I love that album and I beat that album into the ground, but after I stopped listening to it and then obviously we're doing the review of this album, I feel like it's a little bit different. But yeah, this one was great. Oh, okay, Mark meant Guide Us Home. Okay, that would make sense. Very excited to get into that one. We'll be getting into that in a second. Marks also said, met the whole band 3 times, now going to their headliner with a brand new Currents tattoo. Literally chat with Brian every time I go to a concert where Currents is playing. They're swell dudes. What the hell? Are you all right, bud?
Super solid. Needed to take a bathroom break. But
oh my God. I got to let you back in, I think. Oh, no, you're coming up. Okay. I thought I had to let you back in.
Look at even Meatball's dudes. Had enough of my shit.
Meatball, he got up and laid back down again. he went back to sleep. It's bedtime for him. What else? Yeah, they're great. Like I said, I had a great chat with Brian post or pre-pandemic, and he's just a swell dude. So I hope to be able to see them live. They're great. Going VIP to hey, listen, that's sick. I hope you enjoy the VIP experience. That's gonna be really sick. And I also checked it out. I think you're getting some sick shit for being in VIP. I'll tell you what. I don't normally get it just because, like, I go to shows.
You live your life VIP? Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm slightly above the patrons that pay for tickets
I'm
to go to
slightly above VIP. I like it.
I'm not slightly above VIP. I said I'm slightly above the average ticket goer. Not. I feel like I'm in I feel like I'm in purgatory between like VIP and normal people that go to pay for shows. I feel like VIPs have more privilege, if I'm gonna be honest. Man, that's brilliant. Literally my dream. I don't have the possibility to see them. Well, I hope that they get a chance to tour wherever you're living at, Benny. That would be really sick. 41 Down said Over and Over is their favorite, which is sick. Tom Aesthetic asked, are you familiar with Until I Wake? Yes, I am. They're great. I have not checked out their new I have not checked out some of their newer stuff that they released, but they're a solid band. And then Mark said best moment was sharing a beer with Brian. That's awesome. I think Jared's going to share a beer with Brian. I'm calling it now.
Or a White Claw. If I could offer my thoughts. If I could offer my thoughts on Remember Me.
Yes, let's do it.
So, third to last single that was released.
Yes.
So, so when I talk about how this band and Brian have matured lyrically, vocally, and just sort of pulling on your heartstrings a little bit, like the last lyric for this song is like, you are my family and I will not let hate be my last sin. I think this chorus so far, after, having not heard Guide Us Home yet, this chorus so far after hearing the first 9 tracks has been the most gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching sort of chorus so far. I think lyrically, this song is probably their strongest in terms of emitting an emotional response from the listener, right? And emotional emo, right? We're all fans of emo music here.
I would hope
the more emo the more emo the lyrics, the better. I think that remember me as you loved me. The lyrics in this particular track, for some reason, hit a chord with me very early on, and the moment that the first couple listens after I heard this single, I was in tears. I was emotional, and this is definitely the track of one of the tracks of 2023 that has garnered an emotional response from me, other than the entire single release of Sleep Token. But this has been the second. This has been the second most emotionally.
We don't have much longer, Jared.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, baby.
I concede and I pass the mic back to Brandon, the host of the show.
Oh well, thank you, Jared. You can concede your time. Everybody's waiting with bated breath for Guide Us Home, so I'll keep it brief. I did a reaction video to this song, so I feel like for me, I kind of got out all my thoughts about it, but I feel like if I can surmise it in kind of a few sentences, I think this does a great job of honing in new fans, because I think it has those moments where like Brian really shines in his clean vocals, but also at the same time, I think this is dynamically interesting. I think the way that they kind of go about some of the rhythmic patterns with the breakdown and like some of the more interesting like guitar riffs, like it really has those moments where like if you're a new fan, you're gonna love this song. But this one's a great one. I can't say anything bad about it, and I think if you haven't listened to Currents before, you gotta listen to this one. This one's a must. This is a must listen. But listen, I'm a man of the people. I have to give the people what they want. And listen,
let's do the last song, Brandon.
Last song.
Okay.
All right, we're done with the chants. But listen, if you like this so far, make sure to like the video and let us know what your favorites are. We're gonna go through our top 5 favorites after the end of the song. So, but thank you. Also, thank you to Jared for joining us. Give us some clap emojis for Jared while we listen to Guide Us Home, guys. Let's guide us home now. All right. We're starting off heavy. piano? A little piano? All right.
Light the fire tonight, our bones are tired and bruised, but it's warming to sit in silence with brightened eyes as we start anew. Maybe this is our chance to tip the scales and play the cards. We know that we all never will be. Change the world to fight the odds. For we are what cannot be repaid. There's no stopping our minds from spinning over again. All that matters
Those
is we
leads, man. So sick.
Oh God, we try to overcome the pain, but all that's left for now is to face the lies that lie beyond us. We will run till the sun won't guide us. We will run till the sun won't guide us home. Instead of mending the scars,
Interesting.
I loved it. I might cry.
If life's not worth it to start, why don't we start accepting the people we're dying to be? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself till you look through me? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself till you look through me? How's become
What layering? So tight.
yourself till you look through me? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself till you look at me? Like we're unworthy of your forgiveness. Don't save us. Like we're unworthy of your forgiveness.
All right. Come on, Chris. What?
God, we tried to overcome the pain.
Wow.
But all that's left for now is to face the lies that lie beyond us. We will run till the sun won't guide us. We will run till the sun won't guide us. Another lifetime to fly. Another lifetime to ride. Want to never fade to night. Want to never fade to night. Is it a testament to your Christ? When all the love lies down remains. It's such a savior and to leave. I want love to mature.
Oh, that was nuts. That should be illegal in a bunch of countries. All right, guys. We have made it to the end of the line. That was track 10, Guide Us Home, which, aptly named for this live reaction video because this was the song to guide us home. No pun intended. Jared, I feel like you got a lot on your mind, so let's start it off with you. You were having the moment.
I found myself very emotional through that track. All album long, we have talked about how much Currents and Brian have progressed musically, lyrically, leads, everything. And I feel like it all culminated into this track. Like, I'm going to need to go back and look at the lyrics for this particular track, but holy shit. I feel like some of the words and some of the lyrics that I heard, like, man, I feel like I'm gonna need to have a good cry in this with this for this track in my car a couple of times. Like, and I'm not even being like usually, you do things for the memes, you do things for the lulz, the likes, like none of that shit. Like this is, I feel like in 2023, from everything that I have heard, this is the most vulnerable track
I would agree.
that I've heard come from this genre. I need to go back and hear some of the lyrics that kind of caught me. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but god damn, did this song hit me like a fucking weight. And after hearing "Remember Me" and some of the other singles that I can, closely related with, I feel like this is the not easily, because there's a lot of heavy emotion on this album, but what a fucking track to end the album on.
I think
I concede my time to you.
I think in context, like we think about it, right? Like we listened to Guide Us Home and we're just talking about how much an emotional weight it is, and then literally to refresh the album, and then Death We Seek is the first song that we listened to again.
It's such this is what I'm talking about. At the beginning of after the first track, I talked about how good Brian does this hopelessness, this longing, this begging, right? So and that's what the word I wanted to remember. Like in the beginning of this track, when the first chorus hit, I heard this longing, this begging, this super thick chorus of just like, please listen to me, hear my voice, hear my cries. And that is what got me. I teared up a little bit in the beginning. I tried to mask it by taking a sip of White Claw. But
come on, Jared,
but
man.
Dude, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I'm such a sucker for this kind of stuff. Like, I hear this stuff and I'm just like, man, this is what this genre is all about.
Oh, big facts.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
You go to a show, they're for the people, by the people. Like, dude, this is what this is about. It's about the outcasts, the forgotten, the people that want to be heard, the people that are begging you to be heard. Guide Us Home. What can I say?
Wow.
I can't say another word. Brandon,
Jared might has conceded his time. He's running for president right now. That's all I'm saying.
Not at all. But I'm guiding
the metalcore president.
You're guiding us home.
I might. Yes, I guess. Metaphorically, yes, I am guiding us home. But like I said, I think it is a perfect send off to the record. I will say I kind of did bite my tongue a little bit, in the sense that I feel like I superseded myself in saying "Gone Astray." I still love that song. I think this is a great track, but I think "Guide Us Home," number one, I would have to say, just because I think there is this, again, emotional weight that belongs in this track that I think, like, for me, didn't quite hit me initially, but like once I got to the end of the song, I was like, oh, okay, now I can feel it in my chest. There was something about it that, as the song kind of progressed, you started to feel that like tightness in the chest, and I think that this song and just kind of the album as a whole, I think, is going to be something that is going to be a repeat listen for me. I think it's not just, this is normally with album reviews, like, if it's an album I like, I kind of throw it in the circulation very similarly to the Burden album. I am still listening to that album so much. But I feel like this one,
Burden!
I love the Burden, my boys. I love them. Big salutes. But yeah, I think this album is so good. I think it really shows a masterful excellence of heaviness, both from the instrumental aspect of things, but also like musically and vulnerability. Like, this is a very vulnerable record, and I got to give Brian a lot of kudos for writing an album that is so deep and so personal, because I think that a lot of the times, like, when you have artists, like, I mean, this genre I feel like is pretty known for writing, tough shit, stuff that's real hard to talk about, and I appreciate the fact that bands are willing to really put themselves out there and be approachable in that way, so I gotta give a lot of kudos to Brian as well as Currents as a whole, because obviously it's a collective, and so I gotta give him a lot of shout outs for that. But I think the song itself, super great, really dynamic, really just powerful. Like, it is the perfect way to send off the album, and I think that comparatively and kind of piecemealing through the entire record, I think it just perfectly lines up with the Death We Seek and really kind of creating this sort of cyclical effect where you're going to listen to this album again. Like, it gives you that sort of urgency or want to listen to it again and again and really dive into the deep meanings of the song and why it hurts or why it feels that way. So, yeah, I had to give a lot of kudos to Currents. I want to kind of shout outs to some of the comments. Mark said instant chills. Benny said subscribe. Much salutes. 41 down said wet emoji. Big facts. Mark said, I told y'all. You did tell us, we didn't believe you, but no, we did believe you, but for real, like this one, I feel like you softballed it to us. You're like, this one's going to be a hard track, but this one was a heavy one. Another banger, best current track by far. Mark also said, I cry every current song. They've helped me through dark times in my life. I've told Brian he saved my life at one point. Big salutes. That's what we're here for. So happy you can be a part of the Audio Addiction fam, and I'm so glad Currents was in your life to make that difference. So sick, and I couldn't have put it more eloquently. 41 down said, love that, Mark. Music is medicine. Big fucking facts. We believe that here. And then Mark also said, hopefully they release a track by track of each song. That'd be crazy. I feel like there's probably a possibility that that's being worked on. I imagine. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny. Maybe I'll message Brian and ask him. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Jared, I have to ask, top 5. I'll start off so you don't have to take the bullet for this. I think Guide Us Home, number 1 for me. I'd probably say Living in Tragedy, number 2. I'd probably say Gone Astray, 3. I'd probably say Over and Over. And then the final one, that seal the deal, I think we're going with The Death We Seek. That would be my top 5.
So, God, okay, my top 5. I think my number 1 has to be the leading single to the actual album, the name of the album.
Ooh,
I'm still gonna go Death We Seek.
All
number
right.
1. Number 2, I cannot deny Living in Tragedy. It was the heaviest track on the album, I think. I'm such a sucker for the heaviness of the singles as well as the emotion of the singles. So Death We Seek, number 1. I think Living in Tragedy, number 2. Number 3, I'm going to go Vengeance.
Ooh.
Number 4, I'm going to go last 2 tracks as my number 4 and number 5, just because I love the emotion. I think that Gone Astray was that perfect blend of heaviness and melancholy and longing. I think that 9 and 10, Remember Me and Guide Us Home, were the perfect tracks to sort of lead us off of and out of the album that sort of demanded attention as the last 2 tracks on the album. So I'm going to go my top 5 tracks on the album. Death We Seek, Vengeance is number 3, Living in Tragedy number 2, Remember Me and Guide Us Home number 4 and number 5.
I like that. I would say honorable mention, Remember Me. Do you have an honorable mention, Jared?
Oh, God. I think honorable mention, probably Over and Over. It's just okay. That chorus is just in my head, man.
Yeah, that's true. You did mention your love of For Today, so I feel like that one's going to be a memorable one for you.
I love For Today, yeah.
But yeah, I would say Remember Me is probably my honorable mention. It is like just outside the cusp of 5, I think. I would argue. Just because I think that one was one I spent a lot of time with outside of like maybe The Death We Seek, and I just remember just immediately being in love with that track. And I still very much feel that way. But I do think that there were better songs, on an album as well. But want to give a salute to both Mark and 41 Down. Thank you for subscribing, both of you. Awesome.
And
I love the
Vegeta
community.
Benny.
Yeah, and Regina Benny, thank you so much for subscribing. You know, I know you did it for Jared, so big salutes. You know, he's such a hunk. I get it. You know, but I I love Jared. He's awesome. Thank you for thanks to Jared. Go check Across Oceans, his band. He's awesome. And I've had him on multiple times. And listen, he wanted to come on and do this. So, I don't think I could have spent it with anybody better, if I'm going to be honest. So knowledgeable. The man did his homework. So listen, give some kudos to Jared in the chat. Would love to see that. But thank you guys for joining us on this journey. If you would love us to react to an album together, again, let me know. I know Sleep Token we have coming up. If Jared wants to,
I'd love to
come back
for Sleep Token. Can we do a Friday and a Thursday into Friday release for that as well?
I think we might. I think we have to. Unless unless Spine Farm says otherwise, we're going for it. So, but yeah, Sleep Token. I will be checking out this UK band called In Fear. Their new album dropped today as well. Super sick band.
Wait, you're going to bed, right?
I'm going to bed now. Yes, I'm going to bed now. But I will be doing it this weekend. So not now. I am not an idiot. I know people might be assured that I am pretty close to being an idiot, but I am not going to be an idiot tonight because it's almost 3 a.m. here.
Insane.
So
okay, hold on. Shout out to 41 Down. Shout out to Mark O'Brien. Shout out to VXG to Benny. Thank you guys for joining the live.
Woo!
Thank you guys for listening to two idiots talk about an album. I couldn't be happier. I'm drunk. Brandon's tired. I'm signing off with a large.
I also wanted to give a shout out to T Gray earlier in our Arcane Vision for stopping by, Amy as well. Listen, all of the people, Tom Aesthetic, thank you to everybody that joins this. Much love to all of you. It really, again, this is why I love doing these, because I get to just talk with people in the community, and that's fucking rad as hell. Someone did mention they did not like the mix of this album. I don't know, man.
So hold on. I'll say this. My band member Damien said that the guitars were too distorted and too loud. I think it's a beautiful part of the album. I think that if you go back and you listen to the album on a good, neutral set of headphones, and you listen to the album for what it is, and you understand that the album is driven by those heavy, distorted guitars with the bass in the background, and you listen to it, with that mindset, I think you'll appreciate the album. That's my 2 cents.
I would also agree. I think, unfortunately, YouTube has a really bad job of crushing the bit rate on videos. So I would highly suggest if you can do that. I also know you can buy a higher version of FLAC files. So go do that. Those are chef's kiss. Those are the most dynamic versions of the track I think you can get. So definitely do that. I know, Mark, you joined the stream late, but listen, we appreciate you. Nothing but love. Austin Rose,
Austin joined it
you
late.
are, Mark said
did,
that too.
sorry.
But Austin, thank you. Yes, we did just finish up. We listened to the whole thing, but it's all right. Thank you for rewatching. Much love. 41 Down, thank you for watching as well. All of you, I love all of you. You're great people. I'm sure of it. So thank you for watching.
Thank you for having me on.
Jared,
I'll see you in 2 weeks for Sleep Token.
Yes, we will be joined for Sleep Token. So come join us for that if you like Sleep Token.
Kisses for Brandon. Kisses for everyone in the chat.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna go pass out drunk. Everyone have a